I didn't raise my voice when she said it. I didn't even blink. Just stood there in my own living room, fingers wrapped loosely around a cup of lukewarm tea, listening to my sister declare, like a queen in a cheap tiara, that I was not coming to Cancun for Christmas. And my parents, sitting behind her on a couch I bought them last year, nodded like background extras afraid to ruin her scene. She grinned. Her husband smirked. And something inside me shifted, quietly, decisively. They thought they were banishing me. They didn't know I had already begun planning their exile. I remember when I used to trust her. She was the one who braided my hair before school, who sat on the edge of my bed the night before my college move-in, telling me she'd visit every break. Back then, her voice held warmth. Back then, I was allowed beside her. Somewhere along the way, she learned the pleasure of control, and I became her favorite thing to withhold. Still, I kept showing up, kept believing she'd come back to the version of herself who once defended me. I held on to that girl longer than she deserved. The shift didn't happen all at once. It started with missed calls, then group chats without me, inside jokes exchanged over my head, canceled plans with flimsy excuses, until I saw her posting photos from the things she swore she wasn't attending. I tried to ignore it. I tried to be adult about it. But the real break? That came 3 weeks before the Cancun trip. I saw the text on my dad's unlocked phone, my sister complaining that I always ruined the vibes, that I was clingy, that she didn't want me third-wheeling the family vacation. My father's reply? We agree. We won't tell her until it's time. I didn't confront them. I just closed the messages, returned the phone to the counter, and smiled through dinner. They didn't know I had read everything. They didn't know they'd just handed me the blueprint for their undoing. Revenge requires stillness, a steady pulse, a quiet mind. So that night, I made tea, sat at my desk, and wrote out the pieces. The trip wasn't mine to cancel, yet. But the house they were leaving from? That was mine. The reservation they'd made in my parents' names? Paid with my credit card. The guest list? Approved by me, because apparently they trusted me just enough to give me access, but not enough to invite me. Their arrogance was my greatest asset. I didn't rage, I didn't cry. I just adjusted numbers, dates, and access points, calmly, methodically, and I waited. So when my sister told me I wasn't going to Cancun, I nodded. I even thanked her. She thought she'd won. 2 days later, as they arrived at my house, their designated carpool spot, I handed my sister and her husband their luggage. Not into the trunk, into their arms. You're not staying here tonight, I told them softly. I'm revoking access. She laughed, thinking it was a joke, until her key code blinked red. Then again. Then again. Her smile cracked. Her husband muttered something under his breath. My parents stepped forward, confused. I turned to them next. The reservation for Cancun was made with my card, I said. I canceled it. The silence after that felt like snowfall. Light, cold, undeniable. My sister sputtered, You can't do that. I already did. My parents glared like I'd burned down a church, but they never asked why, never wondered what pushed me there. They had shown their loyalty. I was simply matching it. My sister's husband tried to lunge toward the door. I stepped in front of it. Leave, I said. All of you. For once, my voice didn't shake. They stumbled back, outraged, scrambling to call airlines, hotels, anyone who might salvage the disaster. But everything traced back to me, and I had already closed every door. They left in 3 cars going 3 different directions, shouting into their phones, blaming each other, blaming me, blaming the universe. I watched from the window as the last taillight disappeared. The house grew still, quiet, mine again. People ask if revenge feels good. It doesn't, not in the fireworks sense. It feels like exhaling after holding your breath for too many years. It feels like stepping out of someone else's shadow and realizing the sun still reaches you. They wanted a Christmas without me, so I gave them one they'll never forget. And for the first time in months, I slept without dreaming of being replaced. I wasn't the outsider anymore. I was the one who finally locked the door.